Hi, everyone. It's Rhebeckha D'Silva here, and I am here today to talk about creating an agile and collaborative workspace for the hybrid workforce. So, a little bit of background about me. I have been working in corporate real estate, advising high growth tech companies for the last, say, 8 years. I have been working in corporate real estate for over 10 years. I'm from Melbourne. I worked in Melbourne at JLL. I moved over. I came to London, worked at CBRE, then became the head of real estate at Deliveroo, and now I'm at Revolut. So my specialisms are real estate strategy, business partnering, and client-side advisory in reference to corporate real estate. So I have been working, ever since I started at Revolut, we have been trying to figure out what we want to do moving forward in a post-pandemic world. And whether our staff should be hybrid or whether we should be working, the way we used to be working, or whether we should go remote first. So these are all the questions and challenges that we've been facing over the past year. So the problem statement. So essentially, the world is changing, and corporate real estate, I believe, needs to adapt accordingly. We wanted to understand what the purpose of the office would be moving forward after the pandemic. And we also wanted to make sure, we understood how we could attract and retain talent at Revolut, and can the workplace industry, or as a wider team, how can we impact this? So first, what we did was we had a look at what other companies were doing. So when I say other companies, I'm referring to essentially other tech organizations or other banking organizations. I also had a look at what other companies more broadly were doing. And it seems like there was quite a variation between what people are actually doing, whether it's in the UK, Europe, or around the world. So as you can see here, Google have chosen to go hybrid, Twitter have gone remote first, Slack is hybrid, Shopify was remote first. Netflix completely bucked the trend and decided that they want to go office-based, McKinsey's office-based, Spotify hybrid, Microsoft hybrid, JP Morgan hybrid. So as you can see, there are a lot of companies making these decisions, and there's many, many, many different trends. What I did notice was most companies have actually not committed to a long-term plan, and many have very changing views depending on, where we are within the pandemic. But it seems like a lot of decisions need to be made fairly shortly. So within, Q2 of 2021 into 2022, as you're aware, real estate leases are very, very long. So the decisions could potentially have quite a large impact on organizations. But the approach that Revolut took was, okay, do we want to be seen as early adapters? Do we want to adapt based on the fact that we're a very technologically driven company? How could this benefit the company? Will this enhance our company image externally and internally? And will this elevate the employee's experience? I do believe that being a hybrid organization gives people the flexibility of choice, which is fantastic. And, if you choose an office-based approach, that wouldn't work for everybody, and remote first also wouldn't work for everybody. So I am personally a strong believer in the hybrid workforce. But, looking externally, it was still confusing as to what to choose, because every company, as you could see, was doing something very, very different. So what do we do? So what we decided to do was, we're a very democratic organization. We take everybody's opinion, or we factor a lot of teams' opinions into a lot of our decision making. So we undertook employee surveys over the course of 6 months. in order to, have a pulse check, figure out what staff actually want, and then we can make a decision. And from the staff's feedback, it was very clear that they wanted the office for collaboration. They didn't necessarily want to come in for individual working, but they wanted, connectivity, and they valued connectivity with their colleagues. And ever since the pandemic, we'd noticed that productivity hadn't really dropped. And line managers also echoed that. So the surveys are taken every quarter. They're a pulse check. Everybody within the organisation can respond to them. And the resounding feedback was there wasn't really one size fits all, and staff very much wanted flexibility. So after that, what we did was we actually interviewed many different stakeholders within the organisation. So when I say stakeholders, it's more the line managers or the senior executives of all of the different teams within Revolut. So we actually interviewed over 15 departments. It was more than 20 stakeholders. And the feedback was slightly varied, but they all had, a very similar theme, which was they wanted to prioritize flexibility. And, the stakeholders had mentioned that performance has not negatively impacted their teams since working from home. But many stakeholders were concerned about the lack of emotional connection and sense of belonging, as so many people, as teams are segregated and working in silos. But also, people don't have that sense of belonging to the organization if they're not going into the office. I personally believe that the office is the most tangible representation of a brand. So it is key that, people do have access to the engine room, essentially, where they can come into the office, especially at a tech company that has such a vibrant culture and a strong brand. So out of all of the meetings and after the surveys that we undertook with the staff, we'd clearly defined 7 key drivers for the purpose of the office moving forward. So the purpose of the office is essentially for team collaboration or cross-team collaboration, to enhance employee experience, to make sure that there's a hub for culture and brand, to make sure that people have a sense of belonging, to help the team with to help our organization have a company image, so we're a reputable and respected organization, and also practicality, for security, storage, for regulatory requirements. But we also wanted to, make sure that our strategy was future-proof. So we needed a workplace strategy that worked for everybody. The common theme was flexibility, choice, and the ability to choose what you wanted to do. So workplace strategy 2.0. So our ethos that the workplace experience team has come up with is essentially that we wanted to create a physical space that empowers and enables collaboration and innovation. And we wanted to showcase the Revolut brand, culture, and cater for those who are more productive in an office environment, whilst also, of course, allowing them to work from home if they wish to do so. We felt that this was the right thing to do, because what it would mean is we are challenging the traditional workspace. We're making sure that Revolut are market leaders in how we operate from a real estate or from a workplace experience perspective. And we wanted to transition Revolut's offices to hubs for innovation and collaboration. So we proposed a pilot, which is for a new type of workplace, which we were going to be calling the Revolut Lab, aka the RevLab. And this is going to be our new workplace standard moving forward. We spent many hours discussing, what we were going to do, what we were going to call it. Did it need to be rebranded? How can we really create an impact and make sure that, people get what they want? It's a great brand. It's exciting. The way I kind of see it is, if you look at the retail space, retail has been, it's needed to evolve over the last couple of years, or the last, say, 10 years, because of online. So what can retailers do to revamp their offering, and how can we get people into the stores? Well, what I've noticed is that they have created, these flagship hubs. They've drawn people into these, these flagship stores, because they give them an experiential experience. And this is the type of thing we wanted to do, with the office. We have the ability to do that now because of the, shift in what people's needs are. So this was a really, really, really exciting time for us. So here is the RevLabs overview. So essentially, the traditional office, or the traditional corporate office, is, or it was 70% desks and about 30% collaboration space. This was because most people were coming in every day. Most people were coming in for individual working. This was kind of like their life. And this is the way the Revolut's offices also worked. So looking at, the surveys and how many times a week people wanted to come in, we actually used data to validate that staff maybe wanted to come in, say, roughly 2-3 days a week at the max. So if they want to come in 2 or 3 days a week, we'll probably only need about, say, 30% of desks in comparison to headcount. And given that people want to come in to collaborate, to innovate, to work together, to meet their staff, we thought, okay, well, since we're taking away this amount of desks, we should be giving back more space in terms of collaboration. Not only do we make the space more collaborative, we make it more technologically driven. We give hotel level service and quality to the staff. We make sure that it's a place that they want to be. It embodies the brand. It's somewhere they feel proud of. It's somewhere where they really want to go to. And at the heart of this, team collaboration is in mind. One of our company mottos is, delivering wow. So we wanted to make sure that we give people a wow factor when they come into the office. And we truly believe that this would enhance employee experience. And at a time where, engagement might be low because people are working from home, I think this is a great opportunity to do this. So essentially, we're really rethinking, the office of the future, in order to make sure that that it works for our Revoluters, which is fantastic. And it will also be a physical representation of the brand, our culture, and our values. So all of the tech and the collaborative space that we are due to deploy will have Revolut's brand in mind. And we feel that this made sense, for the new hybrid workforce. So as you can see here, on the left-hand side is a new Agile way of working. And on the right-hand side is the old way, which is traditional, predominantly desk space. So due to kind of COVID rules and things like that, we've certainly dispersed the desks. You know, we've completely shaken up the way we even lay out the desks. There's a significant amount more of breakout space. What we're thinking of doing is, you know, adding lots of pops of color, you know, and creating different areas and sections. So there's a relaxed area, or there's a, you know, our workplace experience team and also real estate ops looked into kind of what the blueprint should be for our RevLab. Like what could we be doing in order to make the space better? So should we be putting in, you know, relaxed areas? Should we be adding in more greenery? Does greenery really improve well-being? Should we be giving people ergonomic chairs? Should we be giving people interesting touchdown areas? Could we give them like yoga balls to sit on, or you know, make sure that all of the different breakout areas have something unique about them? Should we make sure that there's a area, should we personalize the office, you know, a little bit more? Like people can bring in like pictures of their pets and make them feel like it is more of a kind of cafe style, or more of a relaxed, calm environment, not as much of like a clinical office. So the idea of an office has completely changed. You know, we wanted to make sure that it was like an experience hub. So these are all the types of things that I believe that you can do in order to make your workplace more agile and collaborative. Now, I haven't really touched on the word agile, which I think is also very important here. So, you know, for example, as you can see on the left-hand side, there's definitely less desks. You know, we mentioned it was 30% desks instead of 70. Hypothetically, if the teams, or, you know, post-pandemic, if the teams decide that, you know, hey, actually there are more people coming in, you know, that do want to work on individual work, we could still, you know, we could move the desks around. We can add more desks in. And a lot of our collaboration space, we're making it intuitive and innovative in a way that space can also be used as a workstation. So whilst it is a collaboration area, it can also, you know, translate and become a workstation, or a place where people can drop in. So, you know, we also had a look at like individual working styles and creating different styles to make sure that, you know, they can double up. So we want to make sure that this space is not only cost effective, it's efficient, it's a space where people want to come into, but it's also super flexible. And, you know, a coffee lounge area or a recreational area can also double up as an area for team meetings, or for private meetings. So this is the approach that Revolut has taken. And it's been a really, really exciting journey. We wanted to really make sure that it was you know, staff centric, and everybody's views were taken into consideration when making these decisions. But also, you know, most importantly, to deliver the best experience for them and make sure that our Revoluters are super happy with the office, and it's a great place to work, because everything we do, you know, our staff are at the heart of all of our decision making, and the workplace experience team as a whole will be facilitating this. So very, very exciting times for us moving forward.